All right, so today we are going to be getting ready for our test. So we're going to fill out our study guide. I'm going to go over the study guide with you, and then I'm going to assign a practice review on the computer. So you don't actually have to do this study guide and then fill it out with me. We're just going to go ahead and do it together. We're going to start with our do now problems on page 306. So turn to page 306 and work out these do now problems. This is 19 over 25. It's 20%. Those are some numbers that might be difficult to read if you are having to pause and doing this on a piece of paper. So hopefully you have your book today. All right, so the first one, number 3, if you go negative, positive, you will be right here, and this is quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 for number 3. Number 4, a box contains 16 cherry fruit chews, 15 peach fruit chews, and 12 plum fruit chews. Which two flavors are in the ratio of 5 to 4? So here we have 5 to 4. So I see the 15 and the 12. And if I simplify by dividing each of these by 3, so 3 will fit into 15 5 times, 3 will fit into 12 4 times. So a simplified ratio would be 5 to 4. You could set up a bunch of different ratios, try those out, and try to figure out which one is going to give you a 5 to 4 simplified ratio. All right, during basketball season, Marisol made 19 out of 25 of her free throws. What percent of her free throws did she make? And so here we have 19 over 25. I could multiply those both by 4 so I could get 100 on the bottom. 19 times 4 is 76, which would be 76 hundredths or 76%. So there's a couple different ways to do that. You could also do 19 divided by 25. It would give you 0.76. You could do that part on a calculator if you wanted. All right, this next one, we're finding 80% of 115. So when you multiply by a percent, you move the decimal twice. We'll have 115 times 0.8, and your answer will be $92. Okay, so your study guide is going to be starting on page 307 and going all the way to page 312. Okay, so that is your study guide, and I'm going to go through the answers with you. Make sure that you can read this the best you can. All right, number 1, what percent is represented by the shaded part? And if you count this, there's 6 columns and 4 hundredths, so 64%. Write a percent to represent the shaded part, and if you count those little squares, making sure that you don't count the corners twice, this would be 10, 10, 8, 8, and 6 in the middle, you would have 42%. And they will try to trick you like that on the test. So Rosa made a mosaic wall mural using 42 black tiles, 35 blue tiles, and 23 red tiles. Write a percent to represent the number of red tiles. So when I add all of these together, so we have 42, 35, and 23. Let's add those. I get 100. So since I get 100 when I add them, if 23 are red, 23%, 23 out of 100 is 23%. So 23 out of 100 are red. That is equal to 23%. So you have to add all those tiles together to find out that that's the whole, that's the 100. That's how that one works. Okay, so model 39%. So you have 3 columns and 9 of these little hundredths. 39 little hundredths. Okay, this says choose yes or no to indicate whether the percent and the fraction represent the same amount. So 50% and a half, yes, that's the same. So we could divide 4 divided by 5 on a calculator if you wanted, 4 divided by 5. Or you could do 4/5 and turn it into tenths so we can make it into a decimal, we get 8/10, 0.8. So 0.8 and 45% is not the same. 0.8 would be 80%, 45 compared to 45%, right? So that is a no. All right, this one you could divide 3 divided by 8. It will give you 0.375 when you divide that out. So in order to turn it to a percent, you move your decimal twice, and those are equal amounts. All right, 2/10, which would be 0.2, and 210. So if we take 0.2 and we change it to a percent, it would just be 20%. So this is not the same amount, no. All right, a school orchestra has 25 woodwind instruments, 15 percussion, 30 string instruments, and 30 brass instruments. Select the portion of the instruments that are percussion. Mark all that apply. So 15, so first I need to find out how many total. So I'm going to add those up. 30 plus 30 is 60. Another 15 would be 75. 75 plus 25 is 100. So it's going to be 15 out of 100, or 15% are percussion instruments. So let me write that down. 15 out of 100. 15% is equal to that. 15 hundredths is equal to that. Or if I simplify this, we can divide it by 5. We would get 3/20, which would also be equal. So you want to find all the numbers that are equal to that percentage or that answer. There can be more than one way. For a science project, 3/4 of the students chose to make a poster, and 0.25 of the students wrote a report. Rosa said that more students made a poster than wrote a report. Do you agree with her? Use the numbers and words to explain. So I agree with her that yes, she said that more students made a poster. And so for the poster, 3/4, I took 3/4 and converted that to 75. I took the 0.25 and converted that to a 25%. So I have 75% made a poster and 25% wrote a report. And so 75% is greater than 25%. So yes, I agree with Rosa. All right, select other ways to write 875 thousandths. So we could have 875 over 1,000. This is only 100, so that one wouldn't work. If you simplify that down, 875 over 1,000, you would get 7/8. And another way to do that is if you wrote this in the thousands place, right, like this, and you move your decimal 2 spots, you can make that into a percent. You get 87.5%. Okay. It says there are 88 marbles in a bin. 25% of them are red. How many red marbles are in the bin? So it's 25% of 88. So I'm just going to do 88 times 0.25. Whoops. And 22 of the marbles are red. Whoops, there's my multiplying. So I turned it into a decimal, and then I moved my decimal over twice. Sorry you couldn't see that. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see all these words. All right, Harrison has 30 CDs in his collection. If 40% of the CDs are country, 30% are pop, how many CDs are other types of music? So remember, a whole is always 100%. So 40 plus 30 is 70. So if we do 100% minus 70, that would be 30% is going to be other kinds of CDs. So we're going to do 30% of 30 because there's 30 CDs. So 0.3 times 30, one spot, you get 9 CDs. All right. So 30% of 90 or 35% of 80. Which one is greater? So for this one, I would just do 90 times 0.3 and 80 times 0.35. And 2 spots. So this one's going to be 28. This one's going to be 27. 27 is less than 28. So I would pick the less than sign. Same here. I would just take the 16 times 0.25, and I would do 25 times 0.2. So move your decimal 2 spots, and I would find out that 20% of 25 is greater. So this is less than this. And I can show you real quick if you need to watch me multiply that. This one would be 5. And this one would be 4. So 4 is less than 5. Okay, there were 200 people who voted at the town council meeting. Of these people, 40% voted for building a new basketball court in the park. How many people voted against building a new basketball court? Use numbers and words to explain your answer. So 120 people are against building the basketball court. A possible explanation would be that 40% of 200 equals 80. So 200 minus those 80 people would give us 120 people who were against the basketball court. So I am going to pause here and make a part 2 to this video. It's just taking longer than I expected again. All right.